Hey everybody, it's Rich again. If you like these videos that I've been posting, please like or subscribe to my channel, and by all means provide me comments or feedback, good or bad. I like reading everybody's comments. It gives me ideas for other videos to share with you all. So this is part 2 of my maintenance program that I've been doing to my trailer, just to try to give new life to this trailer. Today I'm going to be working on looking at the wheel bearings and making sure that those are have good grease in them and that there's no pitting in the bearings. I'm going to be pulling the tires off and kind of going through how to go about disassembling the bearings and then repacking them potentially, and then if I need, if there's damage in there, obviously I'll need to get a repair kit for that and getting some new bearings. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll jump right in. First thing that we need to do is to go ahead and jack up the trailer, which I have done already, and put some jack stands underneath it, so you always want to work in a safe manner. And then we just want to go ahead and remove the tire. One of the things that I want to go ahead and do as part of the maintenance is to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and replace these tires. They got plenty of tread because it is a utility trailer and doesn't get a lot of use, but it does a lot of sitting, and over time the tires have just gotten weather checked and just starting to crack. So we're going to go ahead and replace these while I have them off. After I pull the wheel off, I'm getting a lot of play, not a lot of play up and down. I'm getting some up and down, but I am getting quite a bit in and out, which means somebody, the previous person, didn't tighten this properly. You don't want it too tight, obviously, because you want it to be able to spin freely, but I don't think that that's a good amount. So let's go ahead and pull this off and see what the bearings look like. So to get these dust covers off, the best thing to use is a little rubber mallet to kind of tap on it, but you just want to barely give it some taps around this as you spin it to try to get it loosened up. So not a lot of grease in there. It looks like it's got some grease around it, so that's definitely a good sign. I don't know if you can see that, but there is some grease there, which is a good thing. Yeah, this nut is like way loose. So it could be that the bearings are still in decent shape if they got, because it looks like they got grease in it. So we'll just need to repack them, and I'll look at, once I clean everything up, we'll see how kind of shape it's in. So we just want to yank this off. So I'm cleaning this off to get all the grease off of it, and that way I can inspect it for any damage. So you want to look for any kind of bearing damage on this spindle. See if there's any burrs or galling marks or anything like that, but it doesn't look very bad. There's one little mark right here, but by and large it doesn't look too bad. To get the rear bearing out of the hub, you have to pull this rubber seal out of here, and it's pressed on, and I was trying to pull it off gently so that I could reuse it, but it is very thin metal. I have a bearing seal puller, and you basically just grab it from the backside and yank it off. But when you yank it, it ends up bending the material, the metal, to do so. And unfortunately, it didn't. It's not salvageable because it's all bent up a little bit. And so when you bend it, it's going to change the diameter and the shape of this rubber seal, and that will cause it to get dirt and debris on the inside. So I'm going to have to replace these. So I'm going to have to go to the store and get that. Now that I got the bearing seal out of there, it's just a matter of cleaning the race and the grease out of the hub itself, and getting it prepared to repack the bearings and reassemble it. So once you pull the bearings out, you can go ahead and get a cup. I used a cup, and I'm using just an oil pan to put some paint thinner in there, or some mineral spirits, or some sort of a solvent that you can use to clean. I'm just letting it soak, and then I'm going to go to the store and pick up a new seal. I found the part number here. It's stamped into the rubber. I am on my way to my local tire shop. I priced around a couple different places. Normally I go to Firestone for a lot of my tire needs. They had a set of high run tires. They gave me a price of like $158 for a set out the door. But I called the Discount Tire because they carried the Carlisle tire, which was what was originally on the trailer tires that I have. And Discount Tire had a pretty good price. It was a little bit higher, but since I've never actually utilized Discount Tire before, the sales rep said, to earn my business, that he would, actually beat the price that Firestone was giving me for the high runs. So we got the tires now. I think it was it was $153 out the door for the two. They balanced them for me and had them installed. It'd only been about 45 minutes, so I just went and got a cup of coffee and came back, and they were ready to go. So now we just go and start reassembling everything. Back from the tire shop, and I just wanted to give you just a rundown on these tires. These are Carlisle Sport Trail LH. They are a bias ply tire. They're not a radial tire. And I decided to go with that because that's what I had on there. And I'm not doing really long distance trips with this utility trailer, so it's a little less expensive, obviously, for a bias ply versus a radial. But the sidewall's a little stronger, and so that's why I decided to go with that. It is an ST rated tire. It's a 205 75 15. And then I wanted to change the color of the rims. I had them white, so I shot it with a can of Rust-Oleum. It looks clean, it's neat, and it's protected because it was starting to rust on certain spots, so I just wanted to give it a quick coat to kind of keep it protected. Okay, so I am back at reassembling these hubs. In any case, I have everything all cleaned up, and there's no burrs inside here, so we're ready to go ahead and just start greasing everything up. So you just want to go ahead and get a handful of bearing grease, wheel bearing grease, and put a glob in your hand because you want to pack the bearings themselves, but then you also want to take some of that and get the race nice and coated. So I grabbed some of this grease that I've got and put a little bit in the palm of your hand, and then you want to take the bearing and you want to go from this back side and you want to kind of push it in there and just keep working it in all the way around. So you just want to keep going around and just keep repeating the process until you get it packed good and in the, so it's coming out the top, and that's a good packing right there. And now you want to take a little bit of the grease, you want to coat this whole inside here. Okay, so now that the bearing is packed and you've got some grease down in that race, you're just going to put the bearing down in there. Alright, so now that you got the back's bearings in there, you want to go ahead and put the seal on. So we're just going to go ahead and set that level, and then we just want to, if you have a press, you'd press it on. If you don't have a press, it's good to have like a wooden block. Slowly try to keep it centered so it's not cocked back and forth. You just want to keep giving it taps. You don't want to bend it up. So. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is, we've already got this all cleaned off. We just want to go ahead and get a little bit of wheel bearing grease and just get it up in here and work it in. Now you want to go ahead and put the hub on. But before you put the hub on, you want to make sure that you put some grease on the front side of this hub in that race, because it was dry. You want to put some in there, and then you want to go ahead and slide the hub on there, and then you want to go ahead and put the bearing into place, push that in. That's tight. It isn't going anywhere. Alright, so the last thing you want to do is go ahead and put the cap on, but what I want to go ahead and do, what I do beforehand is just to make sure that you don't get any water or anything that penetrates in here, is I fill this cap up a good amount with grease so that when you put it on there, everything is coated in grease and it kind of presses inside that area, and that way it just keeps it a little extra protection. So that's it, and then we just repeat the same thing as far as assembly for the other side, and we'll be back in business. So I've got the trailer down off the jack stands and lowered it back down, and the final task that you need to accomplish is to go ahead and take a torque wrench to the lug nuts and torque them down to 75 foot-pounds to make sure that they're nice and snug. And then in about a week, I'm going to go ahead and use the trailer, pull it around, and get the wheel bearings set and broken in, is to go ahead and pop the cap back off and make sure that the nut isn't too loose. If it is a little bit loose, and you can tighten it a little more, take the cotter pin out and tighten it one more turn, and then put the cotter pin back in to make sure that you're not getting any bearing play or movement in the hub. And then you should be set to go for the next couple of years. Hope this maintenance project is helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them. And if you like this video, please like or subscribe to my channel. Thanks everybody. See you next time.